Hi everyone. I thought I will do a little walk through the OO person lab. So let's go. So here is the README. Let's see what the README says. I'm gonna hide this documents, these files. Okay, so again, so these are the objectives. That's okay. Now introduction. To practice object-oriented programming, you're going to create a person class. Okay, each instance of the person class will have the ability to get paid, take a bath, call a friend, start a conversation, and state if they're happy and or clean. Okay, instructions. I will just copy these instructions, all of them, because I just don't want to be switching back and forth from the README. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna close the README. Maybe I will copy the deliverables here. I'm going to comment this out, and I will just take each deliverable one by one. Well, before we begin, I need to require pry, require pry, and at the very bottom I will put binding.pry, and just actually I don't need it because this lab is it with the specs? Yeah. Okay, so I don't need that. If there were no specs, I would put a binding.pry at the end and then, run the file, which you still can do. However, now if you run learn, it will already trigger invoke all the methods. So you don't really need to put additional binding.pry here. Okay, so our first deliverable is this one. And so I will put it here. First, you need to create a person class that is initialized with a name that cannot be changed. Okay, so I see here a few different things. I see that it is, first I need to create a class, then it needs to be initialized with a name, and the name cannot be changed, right? So those are three pieces of the name. So those are the three pieces of information that I will need. So I am writing the class. So in here, this is the syntax for the class. The name of the class is with capital letters. So the class will be initialized with a name, right? So that means that I need the initialize method, initialize, and it will take an argument of a name. So when I'm writing initialize method, I can already assume that there's going to be the instance variable of the same, name. And so just for the distinction, I will write name argument so that we remember that this is coming from when we invoke the method and not, from somewhere else. Okay. And now there's a piece of information that the name cannot be changed. For me, this is a call for an attribute reader with the method name. Okay, so why don't we run learn fail fast? Is that how it is? Let's see. Okay, maybe that's not the command. So let's just run learn. Okay, intimidating number of errors. Okay, so we are able to do a new person, and a person knows its name once she has been created, and a person instance cannot overwrite the name it was instantiated with. Just for the record, I will change the pronouns after I am done with the recording, just to make it more inclusive. Okay, so that's good. Let's look at our second deliverable. So each instance of the person class should be able to remember their name. We have that already. And they remember their name through the instance variable. So we already did this. Okay, each instance of the class person should start with $25 in their bank account. Okay, let's look at the test, bank account. Okay, that's okay, let's see. So for me, this is a call for an instance variable. Because this is a value of this object that will be carried with this person wherever they go. So let's run learn and see whether the bank account has been fulfilled. With a bank account with a balance of $25. Okay. Oh, I see. Of course, it is initialized, but I didn't read that a person instance can change his or her bank account amount. So that is a call for me for the attribute accessor, bank account. So let's see whether this will do it. I'm checking the tests. Okay, this worked. So now a new person instance is initialized with a happiness index of 8. Okay, so happiness equals 8. A person instance can change their happiness index. Okay, happiness. And then a person's happiness doesn't exceed 10 and doesn't go below 0. Okay, so that's a good call for a custom setter method, right? So let's do happiness. Happiness. So let's write the method that will basically just make sure that the value of happiness is within some limits. So we can write it the long way. We can do if happiness equals let me just read this again. If happiness is lower than 0, then happiness equals 0. Else, if happiness is higher than 10, then happiness equals 10. Else, return happiness. Right? But so this is a kind of long way, but you can also do you can also write just one-liners. So whatever works for you would be fine. Happiness equals 0 if happiness is lower than 0 and happiness is equal to 10 if happiness is higher than 10. So whatever works. Maybe first let's check whether the first approach works. Okay, now let's see whether the second approach works. I'm scrolling. Okay. Oh, so it doesn't. Oh, I see. So we can also just do happiness. We need to return happiness, right? Otherwise. Let's see. So now this works, right? Previously, it didn't know what to do if it was returning. The return value was of the last statement. So let's see what the return value was. Finding.pry, and so in here we are here. So if I run this, right, you will see that the return value of this is nil, because most probably happiness, let's check what happiness is. Happiness is 8, right? So 8 doesn't fit any of these conditions, and because of that, we just need to return happiness. Okay, so we can exit the pry. We can save this. Okay, so let's see the next test. So now we have hygiene. A person instance is initialized with a hygiene index of 8. So hygiene equals 8. Okay, and so we'll do the same. We'll just write a custom method for this. And now in here we'll say exactly the same, right? So I will just change this to hygiene. Let's see whether this is what they want. Yes. So let's run learn, and let's see what happens. Oh, a person can change its hygiene index. Oh, look at this. I didn't add it to the attribute accessor. Let's see. Okay, so we are done with the first deliverables, which feels satisfying. Let's put them. Let's do organizing here. Okay, so now we are at the non-attribute defining methods. Okay, good. So I'll just move them up so that I don't have to scroll all the time down. So we have the clean and happy methods are pretty similar. They should return true if happiness or hygiene points exceed 7. Otherwise, they should return false. So, you could, so this is actually pretty straightforward. So let's do happy. And now we want to use this this instance variable of the person, right? We're gonna use happiness, and it says if happiness is greater than 7, it should return true. So happiness is greater than 7, and so look at this. So I'm gonna put binding.pry in the method happy, and so I want to show you what is the return value of this. So first we're gonna check what happiness is. Okay, happiness is 7, and now happiness is bigger than 7, it's false, right? And so you can actually write it in 3 different ways. You can write it this way. You can write it self.happiness. I'm sorry, 7. And let's see whether this gives us the same result. Oh. Oh yeah, with double S. Look at that, the typo. And then we can also write, this one is going to surprise you. We can also write just happiness is greater than 7. Now you might be wondering why that is. This is because I am going to explain to you. So let's start with this one. So in this one, we tell Ruby, hey Ruby, check what self is. So let's do that. Self is Penelope with happiness index of 7. So check what self is, and then check what the happiness of that person is, and then check whether this is bigger than 7. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. This is using an attr macro method to get the method that returns the instance variable of happiness, right? If we call this one, what we are getting, we are no longer, maybe I will just put it like this. If we call this one, we are no longer calling a method. We are just calling the instance variable directly. And with this one, we are using something that's called using method lookup chain, which is Ruby's superpower so that Ruby can actually check what the self is in this context. Ruby just assumes what the object or the self is, and then looks for the method happiness. It looks for the method happiness, for example, here, or if you have them written out, and then acts on that, right? To assume what self is, and then calls the appropriate getter setter method and returns the appropriate instance variable. Yeah. Okay, so once again, so when I call at happiness, I am calling the instance method. I am calling this instance method. Okay. Then if I'm calling self.happiness, I'm first calling the object, the person object, and then I am applying the method happiness. So I am invoking this method, and this method is returning this instance variable. Now, if I am using just happiness, it returns, it basically looks for what the self could be, and then it does exactly the same job, right? So it looks for the method happiness, which returns the instance variable happiness. Okay. So now I'm going to comment out binding.pry, and I am going to exit this and run learn just to make sure that this works. Wow, this number of errors is really intimidating. Okay, happy it works. So now we are going to do the same with what was that? Clean. And here we're going to do hygiene is higher than 7. Okay, so let's see whether this works. Let's see. I am scrolling the tests. Okay, so now we'll write the next method, the next behavior, get paid. Accept an argument of salary. Increments bank account by the salary. So here, this is already more difficult. So binding.pry. I will put the binding.pry in get paid, and now I will run the learn command just to access this this method so that I can see, I can just have a live playground. And I will scroll up to the deliverables just so that I can execute one by one. Okay, so now we have, okay, so first I will just copy this deliverables. Actually, I'm just gonna copy all the deliverables. I thought that the deliverables that were provided in the README were more explicit, but I see that sadly not. So I am just going to copy it here and then comment this out. Okay, and now I'm going to copy this deliverables for this method. Okay, so now we are in this binding.pry. So first I'm going to check what salary is. Salary is 100. I'm also going to check what my bank account variable is. It's 25. So my assumption is that if I, if this method works, I should get at the bank account 125. So now I am going to, actually I will just use explicit method bank account. I like to be explicit about everything instead of, okay, instead of using instance variables. It's because if this basically, if later I change the name of the instance variable, then and that is more possible than changing all the methods that depend on the instance variable, then it's just easier to maintain the code, right? And so I prefer to always work on methods and not only on the variables. So, but that's my preference. So now self.bank account gives me 25, and I'm going to use the increment of one of the salary, right? Let's see what's gonna happen if I do this. Okay, this works. I am exceeding pi only without the bang, right? Because I want to see how this behaves another way, another round, when there's the next test. So, okay, cool. This actually doesn't work. I don't know, that works. Okay, exit. Let's see again. Salary is 100. Okay. So now let's take out the binding.pry and let's run learn. And now we will see whether this worked. Returns, oh, all about Benjamins. Okay, I didn't notice that. Oh yeah, it's written here. Good. And you don't need to write explicitly return because Ruby returns the ultimate line anyway. So let's see. Okay, so now we have take bath. Take bath. And let's see. I'm going to copy this. This is already done. Take bath. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Okay, makes the person cleaner by 4 points. Returns a song. Can't make a person cleaner by 10 points. Okay, hint is the custom method, hygiene method. Oh, interesting. And calls on the hygiene method to increment hygiene. Okay, that sounds good. So now we'll do. Okay, so let's put the binding.pry. Binding.pry. Sorry, I am looking at all my animals. Sorry. Okay. So now makes a person cleaner by 4 points. So we'll first do hygiene. Let's just check whether this actually works. Okay, self-hygiene is 4. Oh, how sad. Plus equals 4. So let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, 8. Actually, I'm going to put it under. Actually, we know that it works, so I'm going to put it above binding.pry. Returns a song. Is there? That's very not specific. Let's see whether there's a specific request for the song. Oh, here. Okay. That's very specific. Okay. So this should work. And now we should also write this method, hygiene. And so in here we should get how this worked. Oh yeah, oh my god, we already wrote this. Look at this. So we actually do have the method already that that does this job. Okay. So now the method workout. So what we are doing, we are calling the hygiene method. We have it as an accessor, and so the accessor will still trigger this method, right? So it is an accessor. As such, we can overwrite it, and then this one actually is a reader. This is a reader method. And so once it has been overwritten, you can now, trim it to the correct range. So if you look at this, what we are going to do, you will see that the code will first hit self.hygiene, and then it will increment it, right? Increment it here. And then you will see that the value of the hygiene will be different before and after. So let's do this. So we are in hygiene first. Okay, let's see what the hygiene is first. Okay, and now, okay, so now we're gonna exit. Let's see at which code we are. Okay, exit. We are still, you see, we are still initializing the person with a hygiene index of 8. So I want to go to the next test. I want to go to the test of take bath. This is, oh yeah, take bath. And so you see right now, hygiene is 4. Okay, so we can move to the next text and check now, hygiene is 8. Okay, good, exit. And now hygiene is 5, exit. Okay, hygiene is 9, exit. And now hygiene is 13. So look what's gonna happen. If I run these 3 lines of code, oh wait. If I run these 3 lines of code, and then this one, you see that initially it was 13, but now because of the fact that we have this line of code of make hygiene equal if hygiene is bigger than 10, then it actually again lowers the value to 10, and then we return the hygiene, right? So because of this test works. Okay, so this is actually this is actually a custom reader method in which we are using the writer method. So this is like a code mending Ruby. But you can do that, and you can also do you could also just use you could also write something like this, right? However, this is a little bit more redundant, so I would just stick to this way. Okay, so now we have workout. And so workout, let's take the code or the instructions from here. So workout, workout does a lot, huh? Okay, I should start working out. Okay, so workout makes the person dirtier by 3 points. So we'll again do the same thing, right? Just like we did here. We will be explicit about self dot dirtier, so that's hygiene. We'll deduct now 3 points. Now, never makes the person have negative dirty points, but this we already have set up in this method, in the reader writer method. Calls on the hygiene method to decrease hygiene. Makes the person happier by 2 points. So we will now increase happiness, self.happiness. And makes the person have more than 10 points, and calls on happiness to increment happiness, and returns clean lyrics. Okay, let me see what clean lyrics they are. they are expecting. Oh, another bites the dust. Okay. So now I'm going to run this code and let's see what it gives me. So it gives me, so it passes all the tests. So now we'll call a friend. Okay. So, okay. So I am going to copy the instructions. Start conversation, call friend. Okay. I feel like this is all going to be connected. So I am going to just copy it all. And so call friend, the call friend. And let's do it step by step. Accepts one argument, an instance of the person class. Okay. So friend makes the person calling happier by 3 points. So we have a, okay, so we are calling them, right? Okay, so this is going to be self dot happier, happiness. I will increment this by 3 points. Makes the friend happier by 3 points. Okay, so I will use this friend that I have saved in here, dot happiness, and in here also by 3 points. It never makes the happiness of either party exceed 10. Calls, okay, so we already have that. Returns a string that reflects the caller's side of the conversation. How do we do that? Let's see. Let's see whether the test provides us some guidance. Instance of, okay. This is increment happiness. Okay. Is there any? It doesn't seem like there's any. Okay. Hi. Or actually, let's just put binding.pry and see what actually the friend is. I mean, we know that this is an instance of a person, but let's just check. Friend. Okay. So it is so we can say hi, hello, friend.name, right? Because that's what you do when you call someone, I guess. So now I will run learn and see whether call friend actually works. Returns a string that returns the caller's side of the conversation. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's great. I love when tests are very explicit in here, but okay. So now I'm going to just, okay, so it is, I'm just going to write what I see in the test. So hi, Penelope, it's self.name. How are you? Okay, great. Let's see whether this works again. Okay, this works. And now we have a conversation, we have start conversation, and I believe we have it here. Okay. So now, def start. I actually like to copy the name just to make sure that I'm not making any typo. Accepts 2 arguments, a person to strike in conversation and a topic. Okay, person, topic. If topic is politics, returns blah, 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 lobbyist. If the topic, okay. If the topic is politics, it makes both people in the conversation 2 points less happy. Okay, so I will say if, actually let's put the binding.pry. And let's just write it in the sandbox. So now I will write the code here and then copy. So first I will check what the person is, who the person is, and now topic. Okay, I understand that we need the person here in order to decrease their number of points. So topic is politics. Okay, so if, and you see that this is lowercase, right? So if topic dot lowercase equals politics, I am writing lowercase just, you know, just to make sure that they don't write politics and then in the next test they write uppercase politics. Okay, so if the topic is politics, return blah 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 partisan lobbies, and then it makes both people in the conversation 2 points less happy. I need to write it before what I'm returning, right? So the returning phrase should always be the last one. Okay, so I'm going to do person dot happiness minus, how many? 2 points, minus 2, and self dot happiness minus 2. And now, if the topic is weather, okay, else if topic lowercase is weather, returns blah 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 sun rain. So I'm going to copy this here, and then above that I will also increment the one point of happiness in both people. So I will copy what I wrote previously and just add, actually I will just do like this. You can choose, you can select all, once you emphasize something, you can select all the next instances by pressing Command and D. So Command plus D to choose the next instance in VS Code. Okay. And now, is there like a third statement? Okay, topic other. So is it actually the other topic, or is it just all the other cases? So let's see, it returns blah, 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 if the topic is not politics or weather. So I would assume that this is a call for else. So this is returned. If topic is not politics or weather, it doesn't affect happiness. Okay, and we need, I think, one more and, or no. Okay. Let's see, do we still have a binding.pry? Okay, so let's run this. Oh, look at this. No method for other string. Interesting. Lowercase for programming string. Oh, downcase. Wow. That's another language. That's what happens if you're multilingual in programming. Okay, so this works. Now, I will suggest in the main channel a little improvement for this method and also for this. However, you can just check it once you feel very stable with this material. So what I would suggest is to make sure that you always put binding.pry in all the methods and check what self is. And in this way, this will become more intuitive. I also recommend that you don't, in general, it's better, in general, it's better to be explicit about self, right? So self.bank account. So instead of writing, for example, bank account plus equals salary, this is also going to work, right? I mean, could work. However, you may also run into an error that I will also describe in the main channel. So just for your safety, I would say just be very explicit with self. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just shows that you're very careful. So yeah, just rely on methods and not on instance variables, because you may change the instance variable name, but I don't think that you would be changing the methods that return it. So yeah. Okay, if you have any questions, reach out.